Good morning, boys and girls. Today we're going to do an art project where you make a flower grow from a seed. So, we'll need your packet of construction paper, and we are going to use a few different colors. You're going to need brown, you're going to need green, yellow, and blue. And you get to choose another color for the color your flower to be. So first thing I'm going to do is take out my blue. This is going to be my background. So it'll be like my sky picture. All right. Then I'm going to take my brown and I'm going to cut just a little sort of oval shape out of it. That's going to be the shape of my seed. It doesn't have to be very big, just a little seed. Okay, I'm setting that down with my blue paper. Now, when my seed sprouts, it's going to grow a little stem. So I'm going to cut out of my green paper a stem. Some stems are pretty straight, but I want mine to be just a little bit wavy. Cut off the end so it's not straight. See how it's wavy? My wavy little stem. There we go. Now once my seed grows a stem, it's also going to grow some leaves. So I'll need some leaves to be out of my green paper. My leaves have to be a little bigger than my seed, but they can be kind of ovalish shaped too. Leaves usually kind of come to a point at the ends. There's a leaf. And I'm going to make 2 leaves for my flower. So, I've got another leaf right there. Okay, so far I have a seed, a stem, and 2 leaves. I'm setting them all kind of right with my blue paper. And the next thing I need for my flower really to grow on my paper is dirt. So I'm going to take that same brown, and you know how I cut the seed out of one end? Well, I'm going to take the other end and make some dirt. So I'll just make a good thick amount of dirt. There we go. There is my dirt. That's where my seed is going to grow. Now I need my glue. Hopefully I put my glue back. Oh, good. It's right here in my art supplies. See, I have a little basket that I keep all my school supplies in. So this is where it gets kind of fun. I'm not really finished yet, but I'm going to start putting my art project together. So I've got my blue and I have my brown for my dirt and I have my little seed. First thing I have to do is glue my dirt on. So I've got to get some glue out of here. Sometimes my glue gets a little stuck. And I hope it's going to come out. Okay. You ever get your glue stuck like that or it has trouble coming out? Mine is sort of being stubborn. Oh, you know, maybe while I'm trying to get this glue to come out, I'll sing you a song. I was planting in my garden earlier this week, and a special kind of flower is growing up in my garden. It hasn't gotten its stalk on it yet, but I can see the green little leaves coming out of it, and it's called a white coral bell. And there's a song about the white coral bells that my mother taught me when I was little, and it goes like this. White coral bells upon a slender stalk, lily of the valley, deck my garden walk. Oh, don't you wish that you could hear them ring? But that will happen only when the fairies sing. Look at that. That must have been just what my glue needed because it's coming out now. That used to be one of my favorite songs when I was little. I used to imagine that one day I would get to see some white coral bells, and maybe I'd have a garden walkway where the white coral bells grew. And guess what? Now that I'm grown up, I do. All right, there is the brown for the dirt for my seed to grow. Now I only have one color of brown, and I think my seed is not going to show up very well in this dirt because look, it's the same color. So I'm just going to take one of my crayons out, and let's see what color I've got in here. Maybe I'll color over it with a little bit of white just to make it a little bit lighter so I can see it. See that? I'm just going to color over it with some white. I'll do it right here. Coloring over it so that we can really see it when it glues onto that other brown. See, it's a little lighter now. Okay, I need to put my seed in the dirt to make it grow. Put a little tiny bit of glue on the back of that seed. And here it is. Can you see my seed? I can. I planted it right in the dirt. Now, once my seed gets a little water, it's going to grow a stem. So I'm going to tuck that stem right in behind my seed. See how I'm just kind of tucking it behind there? And then I'll need to put a little glue on there. And you know what? I think my stem is going to be too tall. There's not enough room for a flower up there. So I'll cut some of it off. There we go. That's about the right size. I'll put a little glue behind my stem. Get a little glue on there. There. That looks pretty nice. Now I need some leaves. So I had set my leaves over here next to my art supplies. Here's one, here's the other. And I'll just need to, whoops, here, see it right there. Just need to glue my leaves on too. So there's one leaf. Stick it right there next to my stem. And here's another leaf. I'm getting some glue on it. And I didn't put very much glue, just about that much. And I'll stick that next to my stem. I kind of like to tuck the corner of the leaf right behind the stem so it really looks like it's growing out of the stem. Now it's really starting to look like a flower is going to come out of it soon, huh? You know, I was having so fun singing that flower. I kind of wish I had white construction paper so I could make white coral bells, but I don't. So I'm going to pick what color my flower is going to be. That's okay. Sometimes you just pick from what you have. I've got quite a few colors here. I've got yellow and orange and pink. I have purple. Whoop. And I even have blue. But you know, I saw in my garden earlier today some yellow daffodils that were growing, so I am going to pick yellow for my garden flower today. And I will need some petals. All right, I'm going to work about cutting off some petals. Petals, yeah, they can be kind of long and skinny-ish. My petals are coming to a point at the end too. Remember, they don't have to be perfect. Each flower is unique. So if your flower looks different than mine, that'll just make it all the prettier. I think I need at least 3 petals. I might need more. Let's see. I think for a daffodil, usually daffodils have sort of a big, kind of fluffy looking petal sort of thing in the middle. So how about that? That looks kind of like the middle of a daffodil to me. We'll start with that. I need to put a little glue on it. White coral bells upon a slender stalk. of the valley, deck my garden walk. I bet you this daffodil might grow in the same garden that lily of the valleys grow. Oh, don't you wish that you could hear them ring? That will happen only when the fairies sing. As a matter of fact, I do have daffodils growing in my garden right next to my lily of the valleys. And before I lived in this house, a sweet little old lady lived in my house, and she planted flowers that grow up in every different week of the summer and spring. So first, violets come up, and tulips, and then the white coral bells and the daffodils start coming up. And when I first started digging in my garden, I even found crystals in the garden. I'm serious, real crystals. So I used to tell my daughter that I thought my garden was a fairy garden because it was filled with crystals. I wonder if the fairies really do sing in my garden. Look at that. If I go out into my garden and the fairies were singing, I might not only see pretty yellow flowers kind of like a daffodil, I might also see my white coral bells. And if I listen really carefully, I might be able to hear them ringing, just like real bells. I'm going to sing that song for you one more time. White coral bells upon a slender stalk, lily of the valley, deck my garden walk. Oh, don't you wish that you could hear them ring? That will happen only when the fairies sing. Now, I had an idea while I was singing that song. I want some lily of the valleys to grow in my garden next to my big daffodil flowers. So I am going to draw them. This is what white coral bells look like. White coral bells upon a slender stalk, lily of the valley, deck my garden walk. See the slender stalk? Oh, don't you wish that you could hear them ring? That will happen only when the fairies sing. Oh, here they are. The pretty little white coral bells. See the little bell-shaped flowers growing off of them? Now, in my garden, they grow near the walkway, near the daffodils. And you know what? Daffodils, their leaves don't really look like this. They look a little different. But that's okay, because I like my flower. I like how it turned out. I just realized I forgot one thing that a flower really needs to grow. A flower needs roots. I'm going to draw some roots in. I think I'll draw them in with that same white crayon because white shows up pretty well on brown. Just drawing in some little roots. When I was planting some little plant starts in my garden and taking them out of pots earlier, I noticed that the roots really did look white. Look at that beautiful flower. Now, if I wanted to go a little further with this, I could turn this into a science art project, and I could label the things on my flower. After this video, I'm going to label the things on my flower, and I'll take a picture of it and I'll show it to you. I'll label the seed. I'll label the roots. I will label the stem. I will label the leaves. And I will label the petals. Those are the parts of a flower. I hope you enjoyed this art project, and I hope you make one too. I cannot wait to see how pretty all of your different flowers look, and how different they all look too. Have a good weekend, boys and girls, and I will talk to you again next week.